You're listening to the Chat City interviews from 103.2 Preston FM.
Good morning to you, Hughie.
And I believe you're 82 years young, is that right?
That's right, yes. In September I had my 82nd birthday.
And your debut album, 50 years after your father, a docker from the East End of London, first penned the lyrics. Was it the lyrics to the song that we've just played?
No, that was my son's, actually, the lyrics of my son.
Right.
Which he wrote, which sort of stimulated us to get the album created.
Right. And I believe on the album, you've got 10 original Big Bang songs, is that right?
That's right, yes.
And
yes, 8 of them were compositions that my father wrote the lyrics for, and the first one, which we just heard, and the last one, which is It's All About Love, which is the title of the album, were written by my son.
Right.
The lyrics.
So Ken, tell us a little about your father. I mean, was he a musician? Was he a singer, songwriter? Tell us a little about him.
No, he wasn't. He was essentially sort of a poetic person. He used to write poems. In fact, when he courted my mother in the 20s, he was a bit shy at that stage, and so he wrote poems to her and got one of his stepbrothers to take them round to her.
Right. But sorry, go on.
And during the 30s, he wrote a lot more lyrics, which unfortunately were lost during the war when we were bombed out in the East End.
So music was always a big part of life within the family.
That's right. And when we had family parties at Christmas time and that, most of the members of the family would sing. My brother was a pianist. He played, my oldest brother, he played on ships and in hotels and in both England and in Europe.
Wow. And you yourself, I understand, seen people like Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra live.
That's right. Yes, Sarah Vaughan, I remember, and musicians, say like Stan Kenton's orchestra, which was one of my favourites. When they came to Sheffield, when I was studying at Sheffield, I saw them and Jerry Mulligan and
wow.
various people like that.
So how do our modern days Michael Bublé stand up to the test then?
Well, I think his music is quite good. I mean, obviously he does a lot of covers, many of them, which Sinatra and others did at the time. So,
and how did the album come around then? Is this something you...
what happened was, as I say, we started writing in 61, late 61. My father wrote a lyric, showed it to me on Saturday night, and I said, oh, that sounds interesting. And I took it away, and a week or so later, when I came back to see him, I sang him the song. And that was really then stimulated him to write other lyrics, which he did. And of course, in 62, I went out to Bangkok to work at the university, and I was studying, working out there. Until 67 when I returned, and he used to send me the lyrics as he wrote them, and then we would communicate by tape. We had tape recording. I would record it and send back a vocal version of it for him to listen to.
Right. And then bringing it more up to date, you got together with your son in 2003.
That's right. Well, when we originally started, the idea was to write songs just for other people to sing, because I had a career and he was busy doing other things. He had a cafe at the time, and he also was doing some work still in the docks. And so consequently, neither of us were in a position. When we tried to, we did send it off to a publisher, but nobody took it. They said, yes, we like the music, carry on writing. They're great songs, but they really needed it as a disc, and so that they could actually hear exactly what the song was going to sound like. And of course, then when my father died in 68, it became dormant, and as I was travelling a lot overseas and doing work overseas, it made it difficult to do anything about it. And it wasn't then until the 2003, after my wife died suddenly, that my son and I realized that he also wrote the lyrics, and we decided to team up, and the result was the album.
Wow. And how did you get Tim Healy on board with the song, of course, Star of Benidorm?
That's right. Well, it was my son who actually organised this. What happened was that we approached quite a number of different directors and producers with ideas for a video, and we selected this concept of an autumn fair. And when we saw the storyboard, we thought, well, look, it's got elements of comedy in it, and it would be better to have a comedy actor. So we made a few inquiries, and my son contacted Tim Healy's agent, and through him, they sent him the song and the outline of this plot. Tim liked the song, and since it was going to be made up in Cheshire, not far from where he lived, and it was convenient, he came on board.
Well, there you are, 82 years young Ken Dewars, and his CD, so check him out. You can look online, you can get copies of his CD all over the place, and at 82 years of age, well done.
For all the latest community news and events,
103.2 Preston FM.
Your community, your radio.